I've never played a Silent Hill game before. And even though the Silent Hill 2 remake has been sitting on my desk for almost a year, I waited so long that a brand new Silent Hill game has already come out. It's basically the insert place Japan meme, but with these two games. That game is Silent Hill F. God damn. Oh my god. Am I in heaven? The story begins with our main character, Hinako Shimizu, as a young girl playing alone with a doll and talking to herself. The brief, vibrant setting transitions to Hinako years later, now in 1960s Japan, sitting outside her home in her school uniform as the atmosphere turns gloomier and grayer. She lives in Ebisugaoka, a small rural town in the mountains where most of the residents worship Inari-sama. Hinako is greeted by her older sister, Junko, who finds her reminiscing and gently checks in on her. Hinako thanks Junko for always looking out for her and gives her a small bell. Junko thanks her little sister and hugs her. Sometime later, Hinako is being yelled at by her father. It's clear he doesn't think highly of her, favoring Junko instead, and wants Hinako to be more like her older sister. On top of that, her father is an abusive, violent drunk, and her mother remains submissive to him, which fuels Hinako's resentment towards both of them. As her father continues yelling, Hinako decides to leave the house and meet up with her friends in town. On her way there, she notices the gray, foggy atmosphere eerily empty, with no one around. Inspecting an abandoned truck, she stumbles upon a deceased bird that startles her. Konbanwa. That means good afternoon. Dude, that mirror shot is kind of sick. I'm expecting something to turn around, right? What is that? What is this that's gonna demonetize me? Blur that, Jatin. Blur it. Further down the alley, she runs into one of her friends, Sakuko. Sakuko immediately calls Hinako a traitor upon seeing her, but then tells her to meet her at the general store, throwing in one more traitor for good measure before leaving. At the store, Hinako meets her longtime childhood friend, Shu. Their interaction starts off pretty awkward, but Shu eventually hands her a carton of pills from his lab, telling her, whatever you end up choosing, you know I'll always be there for you.
受け身な生き方なんてお前らしくないぜ。お前が自分で選んだ道なら、俺はいつまでも応援するからな。
Then their other friend Rinko shows up, clearly eager to see Shu, but not so much Hinako. Sakuko soon joins in and the group begins to banter, though it's mostly just Sakuko and Rinko going at it. Hinako meanwhile notices the fog growing thicker and forming a strange shape in the distance. Getting Hinako's attention, Sakuko calls her a traitor one last time, but before finishing the word, she's suddenly consumed by the fog and dies right in front of them. The remaining trio runs for their lives. Hinako gets separated and tries to escape on her own, but she is saved by someone she believes to be her sister Junko, who drops a ladder for her to climb. Severely injured, Hinako takes the red pills Shu gave her earlier. The note from Shu explains that the painkillers will not only help her with her reoccurring headaches, but also numb any physical pain. As she continues forward, she and I both get startled by a sudden monster jump scare. This creature is known as the Kashimashi. The Kashimashi, which means noisy in Japanese, is a grotesque mask of flesh sewn together, moving stiffly like a doll and lacking a face. Even when you think you've escaped, the Kashimashi always seems to reappear without warning. After several close encounters, Hinako finds a steel pipe to fight back, finally giving her a chance to defend herself. She eventually returns to the general store only to find Sakuko's body covered in red spider lilies sprouting from her. Hinako takes her inside and tries to give her a proper burial, delivering a heartfelt speech. But the Kashimashi interrupt, forcing Hinako to fight them off. After defeating the last of them and finally letting her emotions out, her headache worsens until she finally collapses. Hinako eventually wakes up, this time in a different place known as the Dark Shrine. A mysterious voice echoes through the empty space, telling her to take a moment to rest if she needs to. She turns around to find the first puzzle of the game, which offers her a way out. Hinako manages to solve it, but doing so triggers another unbearable headache. She dashes towards the door, struggling to open it, until the same mysterious voice from earlier intervenes, unlocking it for her. Hinako stumbles forward and collapses into the arms of a man. This man is known as Fox Mask, a man that is wearing, well, a mask. And on first impressions, he acts almost like a Prince Charming. He comforts her before handing her a lantern, and Hinako follows him down a dimly lit path. Eventually, she arrives at a shrine with a locked door, and Fox Mask tells her he has the key. She continues to follow him, only to discover another locked door leading to the shrine vault, which of course means more puzzles. While exploring deeper into the shrine path, Hinako encounters the same doll from her childhood, now in this hellish otherworld. Not long after, she comes face to face with a monstrous creature bound by shackles around his wrist, ankles, and neck, known as a Kamugara. These creatures are blind, but they hunt entirely through sound, and my god, they're terrifying. After collecting the necessary symbols to unlock the shrine door, Hinako finds the key left behind by Fox Mask. Suddenly, the door fills with red mist and her childhood doll reappears, this time leaving a chilling message: don't trust the Fox Mask. Before she can even process what that means, Hinako is forced to run for her life. After taking a light scratch to the back from a Kamugara, she reaches the shrine and places the stone key into the statue, unlocking the door ahead. Following Fox Mask inside, she tries to close the door behind her, but before she can, something charges at her and knocks her ass out cold. Hinako wakes up back in her hometown with Shu holding her in his arms. He's relieved that she's alright, and Hinako is equally relieved that Shu is still alive. However, Rinko is nowhere to be found. Shu thinks she might have gone back home, and they both agree to go look for her. As Hinako picks up her steel pipe, Shu suddenly disappears again, lost in the fog. She eventually catches up to him and begins discussing whether all these events are just some sort of dream, maybe caused by Space Wars, the game they've been playing since they were kids. Shu suggests pinching themselves to see if it's a dream, and clearly it's not. Trying to keep up with Shu, Hinako has to navigate around a garden and cut through a nearby house. However, she needs a key to get through. What the f is this? Patrick the Star? What? This creature blocking her path is known as an Ara Abare. The name implies a wildly violent nature. It takes the form of a massive lump of flesh covered in red spider lilies, showing no regard for anything in its path. I like to call him an angry Patrick Star. After a chaotic game of Ring Around the Rosie with their Ara Abare, Hinako eventually collects the key she needs from a well. She uses the key to pass through the storehouse and reconnect with Shu on the other side. Shu quickly checks in with her, glad that she's okay, especially after recently speaking with Junko about looking after her. Shortly after, the two walk towards a field, reminiscing about the time they used to play as kids. Hinako recalls the one time she got lost as a child and cried, the last time she ever did, since she usually keeps her emotions bottled up. Shu notes that it's a bad habit of hers. You know, it's a nice time to have a moment to reflect, even if it's brief. Ain't that right, Shu? Shu? Alright, okay, well. With Shu out of sight, Hinako must figure out how to escape. She reads a scarecrow that contains a clue, followed by several other scarecrow-like figures resembling young teenagers in school uniforms, all brandishing weapons. These creatures are known as the Ayakakashi. The objective is to solve the clues correctly. Getting one wrong will trigger a fast and aggressive attack from the Ayakakashi. Hinako eventually solves all the remaining clues in the field and is magically transported outside of Rinko's house, where Shu is already present. Shu calls for Rinko, and she eagerly runs to him, her joyful expression fading when she sees Hinako. It's clear that Rinko has feelings for Shu, but strongly dislikes Hinako's presence around him. Inside the house, the three agree it's unsafe to remain there and that they need to leave town to get help. Rinko warns them that they are trapped, pointing out through a window that the bridge is destroyed. Shu suggests taking the highway past the mountains behind his house, a shortcut through the wasabi fields. Shu recommends that Rinko gather some first aid supplies, and Hinako comes along. As they descend the stairs, the childhood doll warns Hinako, beware Rinko. With a 1,000-yard stare from Rinko, she suddenly pushes Hinako down the stairs. Oh my god, bruh. She's such a bitch. Oh, Jesus. After that bitch knocks Hinako unconscious again, she wakes up back in the other world, right where she left off. While exploring, she comes across her childhood doll once more, carrying a warning. Don't believe the fox's words, and later another message, don't trust him. She also discovers a portrait of a teenage girl wearing the same uniform as her, only the face is missing. Hinako enters a secret room, only to be ambushed by a monster called the Horai Katashiro. To fight back, she rushes to the podium ahead and grabs a Naginata. The Horai Katashiro is basically a Kashimashi, just a different variant that exists in the other world. They are blade-legged mannequins with doll-like faces, each wielding a knife. And honestly, this version is way creepier than the one in the real world. Hinako eventually finds her way to the sacred door, but the voice of Sakuko echoes through the area, pulling her attention elsewhere. Her curiosity leads her to a stone orb, another key for the sacred door. By grabbing it triggers a new encounter, a creature called the Oi Omoi. The Oi Omoi is made from multiple traditional Japanese Hina dolls fused into one grotesque body. Its name means heavy with thought or heavy with emotion, which makes sense since its primary attack is a chilling scream. After dodging the monsters, Hinako reaches the sacred door and places the second key into the fox statue, unlocking the path ahead. But beyond the door lies not just another challenge, it's a boss fight. Sakuko. Sakuko. Oh. Hinako Sakuko. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Looks like the cat nap from Poppy Playtime from Poppy Chapter 2. This is the Shrine Maiden, a Sakuko-like entity. And let me tell you, this fight tested my patience. It's all about timing, and stamina management is crucial. Honestly, I'd say stamina is even more important than health. After nearly an hour of struggling, Hinako finally weakens Sakuko, leaving her staggered. But the entity refuses to stay down. Just as it's about to strike again, Fox Mask steps in, tanking the barrage of attacks and banishing the entity for good. When Hinako asks what that was, Fox Mask tells her it was an impurity, one that will haunt her no more. They continue deeper into the shrine, but Fox Mask warns that to proceed, they must first be cleansed. He leads her to a fountain filled with water, drinks from it, and urges her to do the same. When she looks down though, she sees the water has turned into lava. Fox Mask assures her that it's still water. Trusting him, she takes a sip and immediately screams in pain. The water was lava after all. As Fox Mask stares coldly at her, the camera cuts to the doll one last time with another message: don't trust the Fox Mask. If you made it this far, you can feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm actually trying to hit 5,000 subs by the end of the year. Feels like a stretch, but hey, who knows? Who knows? Let's dive right back into the video. She wakes up back in Rinko's house, this time with one sleeve exposed. Shu checks in on her while Rinko plays it off, pretending that Hinako just fell and calling her a klutz to cover up what really happened. Shu is clearly concerned, but Hinako reassures him that she is fine. With that, the trio grabs their weapons and heads out towards Shu's house. On the way there, Rinko starts throwing little digs at Hinako, trying to make herself look like the better choice for Shu. She comments that Hinako talks kind of manly and says that probably that's why they've never been in a relationship. Back in town, the Ara Abare blocks their path. Rather than taking it head on and, well, dying, they decide to take an alternative route through the middle school and up the mountain path. Taking the longer route, of course, isn't easy, especially when Rinko already is in pain from earlier. Oh, fucking Lord have mercy. As she pushes forward, Hinako comes across yet another monster, this one called the Irohihi. Hinako describes it: the greedily staring eyes, the greasy palms, the disgusting way it acts all chummy with me, all of it is completely repulsive. What's more, it never even bothers with guys. Typical. These creatures are one of the most blatant depictions in the game. glowing orange tendrils sprouting from their heads, they've got that big ass bloated gut, and they move fast and aggressive on all fours. Their name roughly translates to pervert looking, which honestly fits perfectly. Even my face says it all, as the monster grabs her, licks her face, and forces its tongue down her throat. Soon after, Hinako encounters another creature, this one known as the Corruptor. This monster is made up of multiple male and female faces, and its main attack is vomiting bodily fluids. As they get closer to the school, Hinako overhears Rinko telling Shu that he needs to snap back to reality, claiming that Hinako is dead. But clearly she isn't. Shu turns around and sees her standing right behind them. They finally made it to the school, but the gate is locked, making it impossible to pass through the mountains to reach Shu's house. So instead, they decide to head inside the school itself. They head into a classroom where Rinko immediately wants to take a rest. But as soon as she hears Shu mention going off to find the key, she jumps up, insisting he stays. Hinako steps in, deciding to take the lead and let the two of them rest while she searches for the key. Of course, finding it won't be easy. Eventually, she discovers a pair of keys to the school's second floor hidden among some flowers. Not long after, she comes across a puzzle containing more keys that unlocks the other side of the building, which leads her to the locker room where she finds another set of keys to finally obtain the primary keys needed to unlock the chained gates leading to the mountains. Before heading back, Hinako is visited by her sister.
ひなこはお友達といつまでも一緒にいたい。お姉ちゃん、どこ？お友達は永遠じゃないのよ。彼らだっていつか必ずあなたを裏切る。あなたが裏切り者と呼ばれたように。お姉ちゃん。天秤にかける価値があるかどうか。しっかりと判断しなさい。それってどういう？
She eventually returns to Shu and Rinko with the keys, and they encourage her to get some rest while they stand guard. She does, but sleeping only pulls her right back into the other world. Hinako wakes up exactly where she last left off, with Fox Max hovering over her. He tells her that she saved his life, and in doing so, laid claim to his soul. In return, he vows to save her soul by taking the life of her old self. Hinako eventually rises and follows Fox Mask into a new area within the dark shrine. As she walks down the path, Fox Mask, now in the distance, tells her he will go on ahead to make the arrangements and that she should use this time to say her farewells. Her first room has Renko chained inside a cage suspended over a pit of lava with the goal of finding 3 missing emblems. To be honest, I was too damn stupid to figure it out, so I used good old YouTube to understand the pattern and locate the emblems. Alright, we leave. Turn this way and to right. She eventually finds the 3 emblems needed for the device, which grants her 1 key, but at the cost of a life.
彼の気持ち考えたことある？あんたは裏切った。もてあそんで裏切った。謝れ。その格好で今すぐ土下座して謝れ。聞こえてるんでしょ。なんとか言いなさいよ。ひなこ。
On the other side, more enemies and puzzles appear, leading to this room. And, well, my facial expressions says it all. Sakuko is also locked inside a cage. Hinako now needs to solve another puzzle, this time retrieving 2 lampshades to obtain the next key. She solves it and collects the key. But instead of helping Sakuko, Hinako coldly walks away. Sakuko pleads for her, crying that she promised they'll stick together, calling her a traitor as the door shuts behind Hinako, leaving her screaming in the dark. Hinako continues to exit without emotion as the door door shuts behind her with Sakuko screaming. In a scene eerily reminiscent of the ending of the first Saw movie, Sakuko is left in complete darkness. With two friends already gone, there's only one left to say goodbye to: Shu. He speaks to Hinako from the other room, calling her partner one last time, knowing this will be their final conversation. In this area are 4 of the 6 prized possessions. To move forward, Hinako needs to recover the remaining 2. She retrieves one of Shu's prized possessions with ease. But on the way to the second, she encounters one of the most disturbing and grotesque monsters yet. This creature is known as the Dark Hatcher. It's a monstrous figure resembling a woman with multiple wombs that spawn creatures from pulsating cocoons, and it's tanky as hell. Hinako manages to defeat the creature and claim the final prized possession. With all 6 items collected, she opens the final door, only to find Shu hanging from the ceiling, shackles bound around his neck and wrist. He tells Hinako that he will respect her choice no matter what she decides. Without hesitation, she walks to the switch and lets Shu hang to his death. Foxmax reappears, remarking how hard it must be to say goodbye to childhood friends, but Hinako's response is cold and detached. She says it had to be done as soon as possible. She then follows him down the path, only to collapse from another attack. Hinako wakes up from her rest to find Shu and Rinko gone. Stepping outside, she notices the gate has been unlocked. She reassures herself that the plan is still to head towards Shu's house, but another sharp headache hits her mid-movement. As she pushes through the pain, monsters begin to appear. While fleeing, the fog monster swoops in and takes a swipe at her, separating Hinako from the chaos, at least for now. She's now deep in the mountains, heading towards Shu's place while trying to avoid the creatures lurking in her path. Another chaotic chase follows, one that finally leads her to Shu's house. Outside, a sudden noise catches her attention. She believes it might be Shu and Rinko. Returning to the Dark Shrine, Hinako walks down a flight of stairs alongside Foxmask. He warns her that the path ahead is one of great pain and suffering, but Hinako doesn't seem fazed. As he explains that there are 3 rituals she must complete, her childhood doll suddenly appears behind Foxmask, warning her to run, saying there's no going back now. She arrives at the first ritual chamber with Foxmask, where she's presented with a fox arm. For this ritual, she's handed a saw and cuts off her own arm in a brutal, bloody fashion. Once it's done, the fox arm replaces it. Foxmask tells Hinako that he is proud of her. At the second ritual chamber, Hinako kneels before Foxmask as a woman approaches with a branding iron. She presses it against Hinako's back, burning a mark into her skin. On her way to the third ritual chamber, Hinako encounters the drum monster. This creature has a large taiko drum inside its mouth and swings its drumstick-like arms to strike it, commanding the monsters bound to it. Upon reaching the third ritual chamber, 2 women appear and painfully remove Hinako's face. They place a fox mask over her and it fuses to her skin. Hinako looks in the mirror at her new identity, the ritual complete. Foxmask tells her she's brave for enduring such agony. Hinako briefly panics, crying out that it hurts, but Foxmask comforts her, assuring her the pain and suffering are over. As they leave, Hinako's childhood doll appears once more. The 2 walk hand in hand down a long hallway as Foxmask tells her that the others around them are there to celebrate. They enter the main hall, where a head priest stands before them. As the entire room bows, Hinako sees a vision of her doll, reminding her who she really is. When she looks up, the head priest strikes with its staff, revealing itself to be a Rinko-like entity. The entity scolds Hinako as she cries out, saying she wants it gone. In the struggle, Hinako regains her sense of self and prepares to fight back. Unlike the Sakuko-like entity, this one is far more aggressive, spawning shadowy puppets that it sets ablaze. These burning puppets rush towards Hinako and explode on impact. Hinako manages to weaken the entity, telling it she never wanted to see it like this, but is glad they can finally share the true feelings. With one final blow, Rinko is defeated and Hinako wishes her peace. Immediately after, Hinako suffers another breakdown, an inner conflict as she struggles to understand who she really is. Fox Max comforts her, and when he tells her that he is her Hinako, she collapses and loses consciousness. She awakens in front of Shu's house, now missing part of her uniform where she was branded. The phone inside begins to ring. When she answers, it's her mother on the line. Her mother tells her to come home, and in the background, Hinako hears Shu shouting for someone to let Rinko go before screaming. Down the hallway, she spots her sister Junko, who warns that time is running out. Up close, Junko's wearing a Karasu Tengu mask, and her skin is completely gray, as if she's already dead. Hinako points it out, saying Junko doesn't seem like herself, but Junko fires back, saying it's Hinako who's changed. She tells Hinako that she must decide her own future, and that the choice must be hers alone. As Junko leaves, she reminds her sister that she can't hesitate forever. On her way back home, Hinako encounters the Hatcher. Similar to the Dark Hatcher, this version has multiple legs and breasts, something I didn't realize until writing the script, so, you know, there you go. It's composed of two bodies that spawn grotesque cocoons, which in turn gives birth to other monsters. She returns home, but it's not the home she remembers. The doors, the halls, everything's changed. This house contains multiple sections filled with puzzles that must be solved to obtain crests, all while coming across disturbing, traumatic memories of what happened between her and her parents inside the very house. After collecting the required crest, Hinako places them on her bedroom door, unlocking her room. Inside, she finds one final crest, but as she leaves, she's confronted by her other self.
"とうとう私の声まで聞こえるようになったんだ。そんなとこに立ってないで入ったら、ちょうど話がしたかったところだから。あなたは誰なの？自分でもおかしいと思うの。自分で自分がわからない感じ。自分の気持ちが自分で理解できない。どういうこと？何の話をしているの？多分あなたは私で、私はあなたじゃない。そういう気がするの。あなたは誰？私がひなこならあなたは誰なの？あ、ひなこなのは同じ。でも心はもう清水ひなこじゃないのかもしれない。わけのわからない言い方はやめて。何の話をしているの？あんたこそとぼけるのはやめて。さっきからなんで何もわからないふりをしているの？ね、しっかりと私と向き合って、ちゃんと考えて。私はね、あんたをすぐに殺すこともできたんだよ。でもしなかった。なんでかわかる？ちゃんとあんたと清水ひな子と本気で話がしたかったから。私たちは対等に、そして全力で殺し合わなくちゃいけない。なのにあんたは逃げ回るだけ。それどころか真剣に私たちのことを考えようともしていない。これ以上あんたが逃げ回るならもういい。もう今度こそあんたを殺すから。あんただけじゃないからね。お父さんもお母さんも殺す。この家もこの町も消し去ってやる。凛子も咲子も殺す。そしてもちろんあんたの大切な相棒もね。シュはどこにいるの？ねえ、シュってそんなに大事？あんたのこと未だに宇宙戦争ごっこの相棒だと思ってるんだよ。あんたのこと女だとさえ思ってくれてないんだよ。ただの幼馴染の腐れ。死んだって全然問題ない。シュは 大切な私の相棒だ。殺されてたまるか。
Using the crest she obtained, she progresses through another section of the house, only to discover her 3 friends dead, hanging in the same manner they died back at the Dark Shrine. Another door opens, revealing her drunken father and mother waiting on the other side. Her father in particular triggers Hinako's PTSD flashbacks, especially as he raises a large knife and hurls it towards her. As he transforms into a monster, Hinako must pull herself together and stand her ground. This isn't just a physical confrontation, it's a mental one too. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, Hinako despises both her father and mother. Her father was abusive, both mentally and physically, toward his wife and daughters. He constantly complained, asserting his dominance over the household by force and intimidation. Her mother, unfortunately, wasn't much different. Even Hinako describes her as pitiful. She enabled her husband's cruelty, enduring his constant screaming, his throwing of household objects, and even his violence towards her. When she failed to make soup properly, her husband slapped her, yet she still remained loyal to him. It's because she believed that a woman's happiness comes from marriage and living by tradition, something Hinako deeply resents. In one of her journal entries, she even swears she will never end up like her mother. Both of the monster versions of her parents complement each other. Her father is a loud, violently aggressive beast swinging a knife in his right hand, while her mother wields a knife in her left, her back hollowed out where her spine should be. And yet, it's Hinako who must suffer for her father's sins. When he fell into debt after being tricked by a so-called friend, he sold her off, forcing Hinako into an arranged marriage to repay what he owed. This is why she struggled throughout the game, torn between living by tradition or breaking free from it. After inflicting enough damage to her father, both of her parents retreat, her mother looking back one last time at her daughter. Hinako follows them outside as they both step into the fog, and waiting for them there is the fog monster. Hinako tries to run towards them, but it's too late. The fog monster kills her parents. She suffers another attack and returns once again to the Dark Shrine. Fox Mask offers Hinako a drink, a filtered mixture of rice and water traditionally presented to ancestral spirits to ease one's pain. Once she's done, he gives her a brooch bearing a wolf design, claiming it serves as proof that she belongs to him. To move forward to the final thing Fox Mask wants to show, Hinako must collect yet another set of 3 crests, meaning yes, another puzzle. Upon collecting the final crest, she's greeted by both Fox Mask and Junko. Junko asks for a moment alone with her younger sister, to which Fox Mask respects her request and steps aside. Junko then asks Hinako if she has killed it, referring to the version of herself that resented the idea of marriage. Hinako answers yes, but Junko doesn't believe her. She warns that if that part of her still lives on after today, she'll kill her herself. After completing the puzzle and collecting the final crest, Hinako enters the next room, where both Fox Mask and a fox statue await. He presents her with a ring, and together they place their rings into the statue, triggering the door ahead of them. Fox Mask tells her that this is the final rite, that soon everything will be complete. Hinako returns to where she left off, right where the remains of her parents are. She cries, but quickly collects herself, knowing what must come next. Revenge. She chases after the fog monster, cutting through swarms of enemies along the way. When she finally catches up, another sharp headache overwhelms her. Despite the pain, Hinako swings at the creature, only to be overpowered and lifted effortlessly by its arm. Junko appears, saying she expected this to happen, noting that what her sister is doing is incredibly rude. Then Junko orders the monster to kill Hinako, claiming it's for her own good, and with that, the creature snaps her neck. Back at the Dark Shrine, Hinako finds herself in the worship hall alongside Fox Mask. As they approach the altar, 2 women appear and present offerings for them to place upon it. Suddenly, Hinako's body begins to tear open, red spider lilies bursting through the holes in her flesh. And then Hinako was the fog monster all along. She is known as the Shiramuku. She needed to kill her old self, to let go of who she was, and become the very thing she hated most. Junko tells her sister to go say her farewells, and truly hopes she finds happiness. She returns home to her parents. Her mother, overjoyed, Yet her father, unable to even look her in the eyes as he cries, tells her that this isn't her home anymore. Even if she ever comes back alone, she shouldn't expect to be let inside. Hinako, now as the Shiramuku, bows to her parents before grabbing and crushing them to death as the other Hinako screams in terror. The non-fox version of Hinako reappears in the Dark Shrine, and this is where we get the first of multiple endings. The ending that follows is considered the normal ending, the only one a player can get on their first playthrough of Silent Hill F. Hinako stumbles into the worship hall where Junko is already waiting, surprised that this version of her sister is still clinging to life. Hinako questions why Junko has taken their side, and Junko fires back, asking if she even understands why she's here. In a state of confusion, Hinako starts to panic and takes the red pills Shu had given her earlier to calm down. Concerned, Junko tries to stop her, but the pills spill onto the floor, freezing Junko in place. Hinako then shifts her attention towards the altar, and in a manic frenzy, destroys the offerings. This act summons the presence of the Shiramuku. Hinako confronts it for taking her friends and parents, and demands her old self back, leading to their final showdown. After an intense battle, Hinako manages to defeat the Shiramuku, causing the figure to fade away. Back in the worship hall, she begins to panic again as monsters appear before her. As she escapes, she shifts between realities, from the Dark Shrine to her hometown, hearing the voices of her parents and friends echo around her. She pushes forward through a hallway filled with the same red pills Shu once gave her, until she finally reaches the front door. Police sirens blare outside. When she steps outside, she yells, "Get out of our way," as both she and the Shiramuku scream in unison. The scene then cuts to a police dispatch report, stating that there are multiple casualties, with the suspect believed to be a woman in her 20s wearing a wedding dress. It turns out the wedding was happening, but due to Hinako's abuse of the red pills given by Shu, she began hallucinating and ultimately snapped. That's the first ending. To unlock the remaining 4, you need to play New Game Plus without using red pills for healing, among other things. I didn't personally do that, but I'll be using footage from Gamer's Little Playground, an interesting name. In the second ending, known as the bad ending, the clash between Hinako's two selves end with the version that accepts the arranged marriage, banishing the one that rejects it. Shu suddenly appears, attacking Fox Mask from behind, claiming it should be the two of them together, not with this nobody. He runs off, and Hinako follows him. Shu reveals that the red pills he gave her were meant to help her reflect on herself so she wouldn't marry Fox Mask. Both men talk about Hinako as if she's an object. When Fox Mask and Hinako finally marry, the scene closes on a faceless Hinako weeping, saying she's scared and doesn't want to end up like her mother before a foot stomps on her face. The third ending, considered the good ending, shows Hinako confronting her other self and rejecting the arranged marriage outright, culminating in a final confrontation with Fox Mask. After their exchange, she thanks him for everything and leaves with Shu. In choosing herself, Hinako saves her soul but condemns her town. The guardian spirit once watching over it vanishes with her rejection. The fourth ending, regarded as the true ending, reveals that the gods themselves were toying with her fate, one seeking to marry her off, the other trying to stop it. Hinako reconciles with her other self and learns of the divine curse that shaped her life. It's revealed that she was born with rare divine power, her birth cursing the Fox clan heirs to seek her as his destined bride. After defeating the gods, Hinako returns to her hometown with her Fox counterpart, both now free to choose their own paths. The fifth and final ending, known as the UFO ending, requires players to track down a UFO broadcast, several movie posters, and a film review. Presented in a retro comic book style, it suggests that aliens are actually behind the town's emptiness. And that wraps up the Silent Hill F experience. For me, this game's atmosphere and visuals are genuinely incredible. The story itself is surprisingly strong, especially after taking time to reflect on Hinako's journey and the meaning behind her struggle for identity. That said, I have to admit, the combat wasn't all that great. I can't speak for past Silent Hill titles, as of course this is my first, but the combat really brings the experience down, especially towards the end when it's bombarding you with enemies while your weapon durability is absolute trash. It's also a big waiting game for dodges to capitalize on striking, which I really wasn't a big fan of. Sure, you can find toolkits to expand your weapon's life, but Lord have mercy, it was rough. Especially when you're forced to fight this big ass bitch multiple times near the end, swinging a sledgehammer or an axe. it felt like it took an eternity to kill it. Still, despite all of that, I had a lot of fun. And honestly, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And that will do it for today's video. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot. Again, I'm trying to hit 5K by the end of the year. A long stretch, but I think it could be doable if you just subscribe right now. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as comment down below what you want to see next. Did you like Silent Hill F? Did you not like the game? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.